Hi, my name is Nicholas Sean Yu, and for my digital service learning reflection, I'll be doing prompt one. So for my project, I went ahead and interviewed three students that I was mentoring at the Mana Academy. And these three students are at different grade levels and at different genders, and they are also not related, as I noticed that a lot of the students at the school, had brothers and sisters, cousins, and whatnot. So anyway, the first student that I interviewed was Liliana. She's a fifth grader. And just a quick go ahead and little overview. She has a brother who goes to Bingham High, and he is actually currently looking for a university to go to. And in connection to prompt one, kind of what are the obstacles for a student of color to go to college? In his case, he's a football player. Coming out of a pretty renowned high school for sports, Bingham. I guess it wasn't too hard for him to get into to college since he played sports. His parents wanted him to go to college really badly. They discussed it with him. Higher education is a huge factor. However, for Liliana, I went ahead and asked her the questions, kind of what made her want to go to college. The first one she wanted to say was that her family wanted her to go to college, wanted her to attain a better job, and that she really wanted to become a doctor in the future. And that's, I think that's a very common young person thing to say, but she's a really smart student, and I really think that she can get it done. Aside from, being a doctor and wanting to go to college, the major issue that she brought up was potentially money. And, as surprisingly enough, she's a fifth grader, and so she kind of understands the social economic status of her family. Without a scholarship in which she talked about, she knew that she couldn't go to college. And having that, support system allows her to go to college if she had money issues. And another major thing that she mentioned was being Pacific Islander. And this was very surprising to me because, again, being a fifth grader, I don't know if, race really plays a huge card right now since she goes to a primarily colored school, elementary school. And her response was that she felt like Pacific Islanders are often underestimated in education. That yeah, they do play sports. They are athletic and they play. There's a huge population of them in football and basketball and whatnot. But in education, she felt like she was being underestimated, and that was a big thing for me to kind of hear. Didn't think a fifth grader would really understand that. So the next student I went ahead and interviewed was the Nathaniel, and he's a fifth grader, and he actually has a very interesting story. He's the youngest of seven siblings. There are four older than him, greater than the age of 18. So this was an interesting interview. Two of the four older siblings went to college, and actually they played football. The one of the younger siblings is actually currently not alive, which is it was a very sad thing to hear. And the other one just returned from a mission and now is working. So, he was a very interesting student. He was very loud, loved to sing, very energetic. However, still a rather good student, and he understands that college is important as well. Now, his goals were a little bit different than Liliana's, and obviously a much bigger family. He did not really mention the idea of money being an issue. So, kind of thinking, does he not really understand money at this point, being a fifth grader, or or is his family, okay with providing funds for each sibling to go to college? We didn't really talk about that very much. He was very interested in talking about why he wanted higher education, and for him, he wants to be a singer. And I will tell you, he is talented at singing. and he felt that going to college will help him improve his vocals, improve the understanding of music, and that would elevate him, to become a singer. And aside from the goals that he has, I asked him, kind of what kind of issues do you think he has being a Pacific Islander and wanting to become a singer? And his response were not necessarily that they were being underestimated like Liliana, but because of his gender being male and he wants to sing at a young age, he felt like he was being put down a lot, either being made fun of by peers since he doesn't really play a sport. Um, he felt that he was being made fun of at school. And the other thing he mentioned briefly was racism. And he kind of has two understandings of racism. One, it kind of helps him and it kind of doesn't. And he feels like he can help his race a lot by becoming a famous singer, but at the same time, it hinders his ability because he's of that particular race. And one thing that he also mentioned would be an obstacle is family. His family maybe maybe conservative, and he felt that it was hard to leave his family and wanting to become a singer would be difficult for him. His favorite subject is math in school, ironically enough, which he's pretty good at. Did a few multiplication problems with him. But again, his main goal was to go to college, become a singer, and understand music in a better way. The last student I interviewed was Maya Lin, and she was a fourth grader, and she also has an interesting story. She is kind of the middle child of six siblings. Her older sister is currently applying to universities, and she wants to be a doctor. Maya Lin's favorite subject is language arts, and her aspirations is actually also to become a singer. And during my time at Mana Academy, I didn't really see her sing that often. However, her peers do say that she has a good voice and that she does sing songs on the radio really well. And she wants to go to college and learn music, study music, and then eventually become a singer. She didn't really pinpoint kind of which college she wanted to go to, but she understands that her parents and her teachers at school and at home want her to go to college, that she will succeed in college because she's a smart student, she is very friendly, and that she has talent. One of the things I went ahead and asked her because she was a fourth grader was to see, does she understand that there could be some obstacles for her to jump through or to get through for her to get to college? And she said that her race doesn't play a part because she's half Chinese and half Pacific Islander. And I asked her, why do you think it doesn't play a part? And she said that everyone is created equal and that the system allows everybody to go to college if they can. And that was very interesting because we would love to think that everyone is equal. However, sometimes that just isn't the case. And I think in this course we've studied that. And being a fourth grader, I didn't really go deeper into that particular topic because in time she will learn. However, she doesn't. I guess she doesn't really understand the importance of her culture just yet. She's very she really very wants to sing and wants to have fun and study, which is perfect. She's a very young student, and there's a lot of time for her to grow. Um, and yeah, that was her story. She wanted to be a singer. Doesn't really understand race, to the point where we want her to or need her to, and she thinks that everyone's created equal. And the biggest obstacle that she said coming that will be for her is her grandma and how she might not want her to do that particular job or career in singing. Again, best of luck to her. I think that she will be able to complete her goals. Now that you've heard the responses from the three mentees that I mentored at the Mana Academy, I wanted to go ahead and just combine the three together, kind of put together kind of the issues that they had. First, at the elementary school level, all three felt that they had some bullying issues, people putting them down. Um, there's just, elementary school, there's a lot of bullying, making fun of each other, and sometimes they do take it to heart. The other issue is that sometimes the teacher just doesn't have enough time to take care of their needs, and that's understandable in the public school system. 30 students to a classroom, it's tough to get everyone the necessary help and tutoring that they need. And that's why the mentor program is so important, to have college students, high school students come down and help one student or three students or five students for a couple hours, every week, just to help them make sure that they understand their problems, their math, their language arts, and helping them solve any issues that they have, and also to provide a strong foundation of where education is important and that you want to complete these problems. They're not a waste of time. They do matter a lot. And I think that the three students I interviewed, that they understood that higher education is important, and that their parents and their peers from school, being teachers, wanted them to go to college, that higher education is obtainable. You have to work hard for it, and that they will get it as long as they work hard and complete the schoolwork that they can. Sometimes that isn't the case though. Working hard doesn't get you what you need, and that's why we I asked them, how does race affect you? And their questions, revolved around being underestimated, being put down, and Maya Lin, the only exception, said that everyone was created equal. And just they were a great group of students, and I think that they'll all succeed. Mana Academy is a very interesting school. I've been to a lot of schools helping students with tutoring and mentoring, and the teachers trust students there. It's a good system, and their school is only getting bigger. And with that type of support system and the connections that they have, these students will succeed, regardless of race. And it is a new age coming. These students will succeed in the real world. Um, color of skin will always be a factor, but hopefully, with as time goes on, breaking through the barriers is something that's important. And I believe these students will break through the barriers. They will prove people wrong, and they will stumble, at the same time. However, with the support system that they have, they'll get back up and succeed.